You done now?
Thanks. No, you can take that away, honey.
Look, I demand to know what's going on. Now, why have we all been dragged up here to this horrible place?
Well, I believe we all received a letter. My letter says it will be to your advantage to be present on this date because a Mr. Body will bring to an end a certain long-standing, confidential, and painful financial liability. It is signed a friend.
I received a similar letter.
So did we, didn't we?
I also received a letter. No thanks, Pet. I just ate.
Now, how did you know her name?
We know each other. Don't we, dude?
Forgive my curiosity, Mr. Body, but did your letter say the same thing?
No.
I see. Can I interest any of you in fruit or dessert?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Clue the Movie Podcast, where we look at Clue the Movie and we break it down in 60-second intervals. My name is Brad Gilmore, joined as always by Jeff Smith. And Jeff, this week we're back with minute 17, where we are hearing now from Mr. Body a little bit more. He has a seat at the dinner table. It starts with him walking to the dinner table, and it ends with Wadsworth saying if anyone would like any fruit or dessert.
Yes. This is a Lee Ving scene. This is all him. It's all the mystery of Mr. Body, and we get the letter finally that Miss Scarlet and Professor Plum kind of alluded to in their scene in the car, and now it is actually read, and Mr. Body is named by name. So it makes sense that they think Mr. Body is the host because it says flat out in the letter, Mr. Body is going to put an end to this financial and painful situation that they're in. So now hearing that again, we've been talking about why do they think Mr. Body's the host? It's in the letter. So mystery solved on that one.
Yeah, it's in the letter. So everyone establishes, the letter thing. Before we even get into the letter, why do you think Miss Peacock thinks this is such a horrible place? I don't think it's that bad of a place.
No, it's a lovely place. Come on, Mrs. Peacock. I'm sure she's been in worse places.
Yes, she's a white little politician.
Yeah, come on. We'll learn what she does. She's been in many worse places than this lovely, lovely mansion. So she needs to lighten up. I think her little charm didn't work on everybody at the beginning. So she's just not enjoying herself at all, even though she is determined. But she tried to take over the whole dinner party experience and run it like she does, and nobody was having it. She had no takers. So she's just uncomfortable. She's been called out that she's a politician's wife, which she did not want to say. She had a great meal, so that's nice. But she's not having a good time, and she's trying. She's the only one really trying to take control of the situation, and it didn't work. So maybe that's why she's projecting this horrible place.
Yeah, I think
on
that
this lovely place.
Yes, it's a lovely place, and she calls it horrible. And then Wadsworth does go into the letter. He reads the
right
letter.
away.
Yeah, doesn't waste any time.
Second, Mr. Body takes a seat. Away we go.
And he reads the letter, and the letter says this: "It will be to your advantage to present at a dinner date because a Mr. Body will bring an end to a certain long-standing, confidential, and painful financial liability. You will be addressed by a pseudonym which you will use throughout the evening. Please follow the rules and meet at the Hill House off Route 41, signed a friend."
Okay. He does not read all that part.
He doesn't read all that, but the painful liability.
No, he just, yes.
This is from
sense.
Reddit, so I don't know if somebody made the rest of that part, but
it could be in the novelization, perhaps. That I can see why he didn't have to read "This is how you get here" because they're already there, and he's already established that they have aliases. So
yes, and they need an address.
He doesn't need to read that part either.
And they need an address, and they know where they are because they got there. So it would be to your advantage to present at a dinner date because a Mr. Body will bring to an end a certain long-standing, confidential, and painful financial liability. Okay, let's break this down just a little bit.
Okay.
a Mr. Body, so we're assuming
Yes.
that's Lee Ving, will bring an end.
Right.
So we're stopping something.
Yes. Okay. We are breaking it down. Okay. Yes.
Bring to an end
To end is to stop. Yes.
a certain long-standing. So okay, we're establishing this is going on for a while.
I wonder. Yeah.
How long we don't know, but it long enough to be long-standing.
Yeah.
Confidential and painful financial liability. Okay, so it's we definitely know it's blackmail, but it doesn't say how an end will be brought to it.
No, and that's why we were talking on the last one. Would you actually go? Because it's just too mysterious. Because it could end because you're dead. They could just invite you and go, "Oh, you don't have any money anymore." Because they even say later in the movie, There's no point in blackmailing me anymore. I don't have any more money. So that's why I'd be a little wary about just showing up unarmed. Yeah, because nobody comes in with a weapon either.
I know, it's like they really didn't think this through.
No. Very trusting blackmail ease.
They didn't
Even the
think this
colonel,
through.
a military man, nothing on all these politician types, nothing on him.
Yeah, aren't they? And like you have a doctor who's supposed to be like forward thinking, a general, I mean
Right.
colonel who's forward thinking.
Or the madam at a brothel, who's no nonsense. You'd think she'd be ready for anything.
I even think
And
Dolly
Mrs. White, who
is a killer.
kills for fun.
I don't get it. I don't get why they didn't come strapped. And
Yeah.
then after Wadsworth reads the letter, everyone confirms that they received a similar letter. And Mr. Body says, I also received a letter.
It was you. You're the voice. I knew it.
And what letter did he get? Because he said that his wasn't the same.
Yeah. Was your letter the same? She just goes, no. And he says, I see. And then he does the fruit and dessert, and then our minute's over. So
Yeah.
that's it. We never know what his minute is, or his letter is minute. We never know what his letter is.
We don't know what his letter is, but we do know that
It
he
could just
received
be,
one.
hey, show. Well, actually, we do hear what his letter is later, but yeah, it's basically show up. Otherwise, you'll be exposed.
Right.
So he had no choice but to come.
So the friend, are we to assume at this point, we don't know who the friend could be? Are we supposed to think as the audience member, should we think
it's Wadsworth?
is that what we're supposed to believe? Like as the audience member?
It's revealed later, but right now, yeah, there's no way to know.
There's no way to know who the
Because
friend
we don't
is.
know if there's other characters that we haven't met yet at all. I mean, it's really hard to put myself from like wiping all my knowledge away from the movie
know.
and thinking anybody could come in at any time. So we don't know who the friend is. I mean, that would be interesting too. If like somebody walks in and goes, who are you? And they're like, a friend.
I'm
And they just blow Mr. Body away and then say, everybody out. Movie's over.
Movie's over.
Yeah.
That was really good.
That's how it could have been.
That was really good. Here's my other question. How does Mr. Body know Yvette?
Well, I think we know how he knows her. But Yvette, if she works for Miss Scarlet, which we know she does, I think he knows her quite well in that way. So Mr. Body has probably been down to Miss Scarlet's ranch once or twice. And probably, I mean, he could be the owner of it for all we know. Maybe Miss Scarlet's just a paid employee.
Yeah, she
It's all be in the miniseries.
it's gonna be there.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure it all. I'm just trying to figure out, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. How's he know Yvette? We
Yes,
don't know.
you are.
We don't know Yvette though is we know that she's a maid, but we don't
No, she's the maid as far as we know.
we don't suspect her as a lady of the night.
No.
Although I guess not a stretch to think.
Well, no. I mean, I can't imagine that's a standard maid's uniform that she's wearing.
Right. Right. But also, and this is actually something that I remember from my college U.S. history class on the chapter on immigration. This is gonna sound like I'm making stuff up, but I'm
I
not.
like it. No, I'm listening.
That a lot of women, especially European women who immigrated here in the late 1800s and even the turn of the 20th century, who weren't educated and who were unwed, would find themselves as women of the night.
There you go. I have no
history.
comment on
Well, I mean, it's just a little
that.
history,
That's good.
but
No,
like, I'm
that's
putting it
good. That's
together.
good.
I'm putting it together. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
maybe that was the
Yeah.
situation. I don't know, but I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out the story.
Yeah. This is Overthinking Clue with Brad Gilmore and Jeff Smith. We're changing the name.
If we are overthinking,
I'm sure
Clue.
Jonathan Lynn, the writer of Clue, would be chuckling to himself right now if he heard how not only that we watch it a minute at a time and tear it apart, try not in a bad way, but just tear it apart as far as finding, okay, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? He probably just said, I don't know, I just wrote it.
That's probably what he did. Did you? I think you mentioned that you might email him about the Mr. Body. Chef Peacock.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't done that yet. That's right. I totally forgot. Yeah, I'm gonna write that down right now.
I really would actually like to know, and if we could have an email from Mr. Jonathan Lynn,
Was that on purpose?
if that was purposeful.
Remind everybody what we're talking about.
So
That was
we had a big
couple episodes
discovery
ago.
on minute 14 where Miss Peacock. We know that her and the cook, she was her cook at one point, and we were saying, how does she not see this woman who's in the kitchen? And when you look at the frame by frame of it, at every point where she could have seen the cook, somebody is stopping them, right? And at one
Wadsworth
point,
totally blocks her.
Wadsworth is right there. As when she would turn to look and see the cook, Wadsworth conveniently blocks her completely. So that's what we're referring to. And look at that. Look at that. We're gonna ask him. We're gonna get insight.
That's my note.
You can't get this anywhere else. Can't get this anywhere
I have
else.
access, everybody.
Um,
I already know what the answer is going to be. I already know what the answer is going to be.
I don't know. I wrote it.
He does not remember. He does not remember. I guarantee it. But I said I was going to ask, and I'm gonna.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So we know that he knows Yvette. Mr. Body gets a letter. We're about to go over to get some tea and brandy and really hear more about this. I'm sure fruit and dessert. I don't think anyone eats the fruit or dessert. Right.
Nope. That's him trying to cut the tension a little bit. Does not work. Everyone's very uncomfortable. And then, the next line we'll see on the next one is just where we adjourn to the study.
And then we move on.
Yeah.
This is now, and we've been talking about it, I think, for 17 minutes, but we are really now deep into what's about to go down.
Right. We're about to get into all the backstories of everybody, not just their little sitting around the dining room table talking about the family planning or anything. We're going to talk about why they're there, what they're being blackmailed for. And some of them are going to reveal things that even Wadsworth doesn't know. At least one person is. And it's one of the best reactions Tim Curry does in the entire movie. And it's a GIF, and I love that it is because it's a wonderful GIF.
It's a perfect GIF.
Yeah.
And I will say, Michael McKean delivers it so well.
Yes.
And I saw. Well, we'll cover it when we get there. Let me not get ahead. I'm
we're
like
almost
you.
there. It might take a couple, but I know. Sorry, I'm bringing you along. Where I enjoy watching this movie. That it's almost torture when we cut it off. I'm like, oh, that's good. But then maybe we do 4 minutes, or maybe do 5 minutes. But no, we're sticking with the format, and I like that.
Absolutely. So I think this might be a time to put a button on minute 17.
Yeah.
And then we're going to pick up minute 18. Wow,
Yep.
we're 18 weeks into this thing
We're
almost.
getting into Act 2, everybody.
And we're getting into Act 2. And in the next minute, I want you to explain to me the 3-act structure and how you know where the act
Oh,
ends.
okay.
I would really like to know
All
that.
right.
I'm very curious on that.
Sure.
I'm going to make a note for us to talk
well,
about.
I'll tell you this. I will get, there's a book that's fairly new It's not that new. It's like the book that screenwriters used for the last maybe 15, 20 years. It's called Save the Cat.
Mm.
And it's what people use for story structure. And pretty much every movie allegedly can fit into this structure. So I'll bust that's on the shelf right over there. I'll bust out Save the Cat. And we'll talk about what the inciting incident was, what the catalyst was, with the theme being stated, and how we dive into Act 2.
Oh, this is so great. I'm so
Gonna get technical, everybody. Oh man, my film school professors would be so proud. All my Professor Plums.
all of them. Every Professor Plum you have is about to get real excited because we're gonna.
He remembers. Great Scott.
But until then, he's Jeff Smith, ClueDoc.com. I am Brad Gilmore. You can find the Clue documentary. When can people be able to see it by the time they hear this, right?
By now, I sure hope so.
I hope so too. So ClueDoc.com is where you can see.
Something went wrong if you haven't seen it yet, friends.
It's where you can see the Clue documentary. And of course, you can find my other podcasts like The Collection or The Hall of Fame on the boat, BradGilmore.com. Back to the Future, the podcast season 10 coming around the corner. So we really appreciate all of you for joining us this week on Clue the Movie Podcast. And we'll be back with Minute 18.
Oh, Brad, what have you done now?